Yes, madam, what is it?
I have been thinking about it, John, and I have decided you cannot do this.
Oh, have you?
You are to have nothing to do with it, I say.
And why, pray, have you come to this conclusion precisely now?
Because, sir, I have realised just now that you are to be made a scapegoat.
I'm afraid it is a little too late for all this just now.
No, it is not. It came to me as I prayed. The Lord told me, as clearly and as loudly as anyone could tell me, it is John Bradshaw's name that will be put upon the record. Yours, John Bradshawe, and mine alongside. Why should that be? Why should it be you who decides?
Because it is what we've all been fighting for, my love.
Love? If you truly loved me, John Bradshawe, you would not do this monstrous thing.
Are you saying that what we have all been through this past 5 years is nothing? That we should all be cowed by this man who betrayed us?
This man? This king? But that is what he still is, isn't he? He has done you no harm.
No harm? How can you say no harm? Perhaps he has not by his own hand harmed my person, but he has harmed us all by declaring a war against us.
But what about God, John? Was he for the king or against? How can anyone know?
God, I'm certain, is with us.
How?
Because he allowed us to win. And it is God's law, the law of the land, that will decide his guilt, not me. If the law says he's guilty, then so it will be.
And so that was that. My Lord Bradshawe condemned the king. And 3 days later, on a cold January afternoon, this poor man, this Charles Stuart, was shown onto the scaffold outside his own former palace, and waited there until the axeman's blade came down. And after that, of course, no one forgot. No one. Word spread. The face and voice of my Lord Bradshawe became known throughout the city. In every street, down every alleyway. They knew exactly who he was. Isn't that him?
It surely is.
There's the turd that killed our king.
You see, who would want such fame?
Traitor! Kill him!
Get him. Yeah, I'm gonna tear him limb from limb.
For pity's sake, why not stay by my side and have your sword ready?
Down there, sir! Quickly, yes! Quickly before they catch us!
Can you imagine? Every knock at the door, every shout, stricken glances across the table. The wine shaking in his glass as he raised it to his lips. Happy now? I asked him once, but he didn't answer. Simply excused himself, took himself off to another meeting at one of our many residencies. Presents from a grateful Parliament. John Bradshawe, you see, because of what he dared to do, was now a man of influence. President of the High Court of Justice, Chief Justice of Flintshire and Chester, Judge of the Guildhall, Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, and then President of the Council of State, the supreme power in England. Ah, such glory days. Just for a while. But my God, how he did it. Everything had to be done by the rule book. Every motion meticulously recorded. Every precedent checked. The law. Always the law. It was like his God. Or his mistress. I could understand why people were getting impatient.
Sorry, sir, but it's Cromwell, sir.
What about him?
He's dissolved the rub, sir.
Impossible. Please make sense, Mr. Collins.
He has, sir. There's men are coming upstairs now for council. Shouldn't we make ourselves scarce? Sir, are you coming, sir?
John Bradshawe stays. General Cromwell is mistaken if he thinks he can dissolve Parliament. No power under heaven can dissolve that body but itself.
That was it. The moment. Something went out inside my Lord Bradshawe. A candle, perhaps? No, a fire. Yes, a fire. He came back to me that night. How? Quieter, I think. Colder. And from then on, everything started to be chipped away. Our residences in Whitehall, his position in council. Honest John Bradshawe. That's what our new Lord Protector called him, as if he valued him. But at every turn, this same Lord Protector, Oliver Cromwell, was there, ready to work at this thorn in his thumb, as if he could remove him completely. You knew that, didn't you? Where's your fresh collar? Your best doublet? Oh, why hasn't that Martha got it ready for you? John, pay attention.
I told her not to.
Told her not to do what?
Get my collar.
Why, this one's filthy.
We're not going. Well, I'm not going. You, of course, are free to do as you wish.
John, what is it?
Nothing.
John, come, tell me.
I have work to do.
I see no work.
Nevertheless, there is work.
John, you promised.
Well, my mind is changed. I am allowed to change my mind, just as every other man in this place changes his mind willy-nilly.
This is the Lord Protector you're talking about, isn't it? Has something happened?
He arranged for me to be summoned from the Guildhall.
On what pretense?
Non-payment of taxes.
As if John Bradshawe would be caught out like that.
Well, the charge was indeed dismissed.
Yeah, and I suppose you made them all look like fools, just as you always do.
But I was in the middle of taking the sheriff's court when it happened. The whole thing had to be adjourned just so I could leave. It was
embarrassing.
Inconvenient. And of course I couldn't help but wonder that if this time...
There may be something else he could use against you. But there's not, is there?
No, of course not.
Well then, the Lord knows what's in our heart, does he not?
I suppose he does.
And what's in your heart, John Bradshawe? No, don't speak. I'll tell you. All that's in your heart is the law.
It's all he's left me.
All you say. Nothing else. Just those great sheaths of parchment with papers listing people's misery. Oh, how ugly it all is.
Not ugly, my love. Beautiful. That's what the law is for those of us who have come to appreciate it.
It struck me then that in some strange way I had a rival. And from that day on, I took an interest in this lady law and watched how she worked.
I heard Ellen Beach turned Master Tompkins put about.
You see, this is how it starts.
Thomas say he lost a good horse. It cost him 7 shillings.
And Roger Potts saw a sheep.
A sheep?
A black one.
Ah, a black one. The devil's creature.
There were 3 ravens sat on a tree.
Anne Osbaston suckled a whelp. I did see her.
Down, hey down,
Joe Smith's child were bewitched and languished till she was dead.
And just as Joe Stephen died, he told his wife it was Anne Osbaston who had bewitched him.
And poor John Potts became distempered before he died. He said that Anne Osbaston had bewitched him too, though we all knew it.
They were as black as they might be.
I heard Elizabeth Johnson was much troubled by her.
Tormented, more like, for days.
Nay, weeks.
Nay, months.
Wither down.
Our Catherine had her thumb dislocated, and when she saw Anne Osbaston, became much distracted.
He told his wife it was...
And what of Anne Thornton? And what did she do?
Well, she was not of Reno. It was another place entirely.
So then, let her tell her tale.
Then one of them said to his mate, where shall we our breakfast take? Wither down, derry, 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 down, down.
It was Flintshire, pretty new maid, that started it. It was my misfortune she answered the door. And when he asked for me bit of bread and cheese, she called me old hag. I would have none of it. Old hag, she said. Old hag. I was hungry. Weak with it. A pain gripping my belly.
It's easy for them to say. The one's so new and perfect, they dream life will always be this way for them.
How well we all know it.
Chestnut hair, light on my feet.
Green eyes. As bright and green as a holy well. That's what he said to me. The one that loved me. And was loved. Yeah, I was loved. Eye to eye. Breath to breath. An unbidden magic bonding us together. And then later, fluttering in the belly of another life and the fear of that.
And the pain? No one tells you that.
Aye, the long nagging pain and the stab of it ending.
Sometimes a special surprise. The deliverance of a child so reluctant to leave the womb it has to be wrenched. Only to her. Me murders, lifeless as all the others.
Is that your tin, sister?
Aye. Damaged I was then. The whole world knew it. My man, who was once so attentive and loving, forgot our bond and found the arms of another.
But how did you fare then?
Alone. I did stumble from into Alfred to Leo to Milton Green, begging for food at each grand house I came across. Until one day I did see a man thrown from his horse by a brook. I went close. This man, he lay like something dead at his ankle, twisted so bad he could not stand. Help me to handle it, said he, and you'll be rewarded for your pains.
And were you? Rewarded?
This man, John A., he was both teacher and sorcerer. He knew of all the old charms on account of his learning from his books, and he promised me that if I could help him to go about his business, he would make me wise like he.
Is that why you're here?
He gave me one of his best charms in 5 shillings.
5 shillings?
Brought me solace for a while. He took me to Eccleston, where I got some company to help me. A small dog called Dunstan, Russell, a fine grey cat, when a crow I trained to speak and then let go again, and a mouse called Pigmin, who nests in the chimneys. All these creatures were sick when I found them, until I nursed them to save me. I even nursed the cows and the pigs. And sometimes I was asked to bless the children.
And is that how your troubles came?
Good John Hay was arrested for his pains.
And so too were we.
You? How long for you?
6 months? Since the last great session.
Aye, through one long cold spring and the stink of a summer.
And for what? All I know is we two were friends.
Aye, and our neighbours were once happy enough to come to us for our cures and balms.
You cured my wretch of her poisoned thumb. And helped ease the pain of John Pot's wife when her chest was bad, didn't you?
Little good that it did.
But John Stevenson has you to thank for curing his fever. Everyone knew it.
Aye, except that John Stevens' fever came back.
Some fevers bury themselves inside a person and wait for weakness.
And then when he asked me to bless him, he languished further. Then John Pot's wife, and then John Pot himself, and then John Pot's friend, Anthony Booth. Even though I said all the incantations.
How many's that?
5, including Elizabeth Cooper.
That one were mine. Oh, Lizzie, my poor neighbour. Dead after 8 days of ailing. I prayed, I blessed her. I even gave her the talisman you made for her.
But times changed. New ways seep north over hills and forests, and people turn from what they thought they knew to things that they did not.
Nah, new ways, new laws. Good John Hay was fined for his pains, and because I was his disciple, his crime infected me. They all shunned me, except good Mistress Flintshire. So when the communion of Mistress Flintshire's baby stopped, I waited by the door with my best charm. Presently the same pretty maid did open him. She said her mistress bid me enter. The house was dark and warm with the birthing, and in the chamber the gossips waited by her bed. So I crept forward, and there in the mistress's arms was the babe, all quiet and small, his face pinched like pickings. "Take off your spell, Widow Thornton," said one of the gossips. They said no spell. They said no charm. Sweet Daniel Flintshire was already gone and past the time of helping.
Henry Brereton, Magistrate of the County Palatinate of Chester. Have you the witness statements of the accused?
Aye, my lord.
Then please proceed.
1. That Anne Osbiston, wife of James Osbiston of Raynham, husbandman, on the 30th of November 1651 at Raynham, bewitched Anthony Booth of Macclesfield, gent, who languished until April 1st following. Endorsed by Anthony Booth, testified by Ellen Jackson and Thomas Hay.
Foreman of the jury, do you find this to be a true bill?
We find this to be a true bill.
2. That the same Anne Osbiston, on the 12th of September 1651 at Raynham, bewitched John Stevenson of Raynham, husbandman, who languished until 20th of September when he died. Endorsed by John Smythe, with 15 named witnesses. 3. The same Anne Osbiston, on the 20th of November 1653, bewitched Barbara, wife of John Pot, who languished until 20th of January following, when she died at Raynham. Endorsed by Catherine Stubbs, testified by Elizabeth Johnson and Ellen Jackson.
You find this to be a true bill?
We find this to be a true bill.
4. That the same Anne Osbiston, on 17th of July 1655, bewitched John Pot of Raynham, who languished until 5th of July when he died. Endorsed by Elizabeth Cowper, testified by Alice Beale.
Do you find this to be a true bill?
We find this to be a true bill.
5. That the same Anne Osbiston, this time with Ellen Beach, wife of John Beach of Raynham, on 12th of September 1651 of Raynham, bewitched Elizabeth Cowper of Raynham, spinster, who languished until 20th of September following, when she died at Raynham. Endorsed by John Smythe, with 11 named witnesses.
Do you find this to be a true bill?
We find this to be a true bill.
6. Further, we find that one Anne Thornton of Eton, on 9th of February 1656, at Eccleston, bewitched Daniel, son of Ralph Finchett of Eccleston, aged 3 days, who languished until 11th of February following, when he died. Endorsed by Ralph Finchett, with 9 named witnesses.
Do you find this to be a true bill?
We find this bill to be true.
How do you find the accused?
All guilty, Your Honour.
The accused, please stand.
Anne Osbaston, you did exercise certain arts and incantations on John Steeson, Anthony Booth, John Pott, and Barbara Pott, late wife of John Pott, thereby causing their death from witchcraft. By law, the punishment for this is death, and you are to be taken from this place to be hanged. Ellen Beach, you did exercise and practice the invocation and conjuration of evil and wicked spirits, and consulted and covenanted with, entertained, employed, fed, and rewarded certain evil spirits on Elizabeth Cooper. This assizes finds you guilty and to be hanged.
All we have ever done is try to help people and
Anne Thornton. Anne Thornton. Anne Thornton. You did wickedly, devilishly, and feloniously devise, exercise, and practice certain devilish and wicked acts on Daniel Finchett, son of Ralph Finchett, and, suspected for witchcraft, found guilty and to be hanged.
There were 3 ravens sat on a tree. Down, hey down. They were as black as they might be, with a down. Then one of them said to his mate, where shall we our breakfast take? With a down. Derry, down. Down in yonder green field, down, hey down. There lies a knight slain under his shield with a down. His hounds they lie down at his feet, so well they their master keep, with a down, derry, down. His hawks they fly so eagerly, down, hey down. There is no foul dare him come nigh, with a down. But down there comes a fallow doe, as great with young as she might go, with a down, derry, down. She lifted up his bloody head, down, hey down, and kissed his wounds that were so red, with a down. She got him up upon her back and carried him to an earthen lake, with a down, derry, down. She buried him before the prime, down, hey down. She was dead herself ere in some time,
Out with it, Tom. For Lord's sake, out with it.
Oh, it's just the usual thing.
You didn't think they were guilty?
Not quite. I keep thinking of their lives. Have you ever been to Raynor?
I know of it. A wretched hollow amongst cold, bleak hills.
Remote?
Nothing there. Not even a chapel of ease. A pastor rarely able to reach the place, and the inhabitants having little inclination to risk a journey for their souls.
No spiritual guidance. No wonder they resort to the old ways.
A problem all around this diocese.
Curse. And the man in front of you suddenly falls sick. And without any guidance, you believe it's proof of your own wicked power, perhaps, or that the soul that gave it to you was the devil.
Yet others go and search for it, seek out spells and chants. And that, my friend, is as wicked as any papist asking for intercession.
Or they wait for a sign of some sort of divine intervention. That they have some sort of mystical power to heal or curse. Or a sign that they are chosen. A saint. Like our Lord Protector, predestined for heaven.
Or full of Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Your Margaret, she is still under his spell, I take it, this man or minister.
George Fox, yes. Yeah, still hold their meetings in our hall. Strange business. At the start, silence. Waiting, Margaret calls it. What for, I don't know. I don't know. Possession, I suppose. A sign, although they would say it was the Holy Spirit.
And then?
Oh. They just, one of them speaks. Man, woman, young, old, don't matter which.
And you let all this carry on under your roof?
What choice do I have? I don't want to lose her, John. Keep the door open and sit close by pretending to do my work.
So you truly are a friend to the Quakers then?
That's what they say. I'm frightened what happens when I'm not there. Who calls, what they say. And as it is, some of our neighbours already believe that she too is bewitched. Well, not by holy light. At last. No better, I see.
So much gone.
So much has broken here apart from the castle, eh, John?
So much to be rebuilt.
Full listing, I see. Oh, Lord. Another witch. Dorothy Griffiths, remember her?
Ah, yes. But, well, this is interesting.
What?
It seems that Dorothy Griffiths is fighting back.
Takun harya di laurana berlan turum di rorum di radledla ona bauni anova hinan turum di rorum di radledla.
Dorothy Griffiths it was. I swear it was her I saw. Surrounded by lights, like the Virgin Mother she was. Smiling and leading me along the lane to old Roger's house one night, like she was helping me. And then I saw what was behind her. The marshland aflame, like it was day. And then I knew what it was. Canwell corpse candles. And Dorothy was in league with the Tell You Take, and they had put them there. And I remembered what my father always said. When any Christian is drowned in the Dee, over the water there will appear where the corpse is a light by which they will find the body, and that body would be me.
But how did you know she had bewitched you?
There was no doubt about it, sir. Dumbstruck I was, and every time I tried to sit, I couldn't move. Bewitched I was. Mrs. Lewis said so. The only way to break free from a spell is for them to come and undo it.
And did she say a spell?
She did indeed, sir. And I was cured, just as my father said I would. And that's how I know that Dorothy Griffiths is a witch, sir.
You may stand down.
Martha
Lewis,
I've never seen a boy so afraid. We've all seen the lights, know them for what they are. And that witch, Dorothy Griffith, led him to them. She has you in her clutches now, I told him. And only she can undo her spell. But before she does, make sure you see her drink. Because that is the only way you can be certain that it is her and not an apparition. And the boy did that. And Dorothy Griffiths said her spell. And the boy was cured and able to go on his way.
Edward Lloyd, you are brother of William Lloyd. Good. Please proceed.
It was February, see? A voyage longer than we'd been expecting. And my brother William first to scramble ashore. Where's first, says he. Anyway you like, says I. As long as it's strong, dark and sweet. I can't face our dar without a pint or two inside me. Carruthers first then, says he. And after that, Thomas Rogers' place. Well, there was a lively crowd in Carruthers that night. Well, the sea had been rolling and a-heaving for the entire month. But our Will managed to dive straight into the throng and grab us a couple of bottles. And I was just thinking about returning the favour when he nudges my elbow. Look, he says, there's that whore, Dorothy. Now, Dorothy and our William go way back. And they have what some might call an history. But not just Dorothy, her brothers and sisters as well. You wouldn't believe it in a quiet place like Llanasa. But many a times it's come to blows and fists. Hey Dorothy, says he, how's business? Now before I could stop him, what do you mean my business, says she. You better not be bad-mouthing me or my family again, William Lloyd, or you'll quickly come to regret it. And they went quiet then. That's the thing about our Will. Big mouth for a whippet of a boy, but very little brain. It's about time all this stopped, William, says she. Don't you agree, Edward? And she brushes herself past me. Oh, yes, Dorothy. Ah, what a night it was that followed. That brother of mine waking and screaming and saying such things. Or was it the drink or the fever? I couldn't make sense of it. But he'd sworn it had been Dorothy that he'd seen. And that she'd been surrounded by candles. Bright as day it had been. Well, the marshes over the day, they lit bright enough to thread a needle.
Anne Rogers, wife of the landlord Thomas Rogers.
Oh, what a fuss there was the next morning. That boy William, unable to move, jabbering away that he had to see her. See who? I said. Her, the one who done all this. Dorothy Griffiths. I've always had a soft spot for Dorothy. Between you and me, I think she has a hard time at home with all those brothers of hers. And her mother, always been a drudge of a woman, lazy as they come. So I was glad for the girl when her dad got her that job with the Morgan family. Nice man, her dad. Do anything for anybody. I told her why I'd come, but she wasn't happy. She said, why does he want to see me if he hates me so? I didn't say anything. But of course we both knew. No one in Clanassa would believe she was a witch, unless she came and cured him. Because that would be like an admission that she was. But she came with me anyway. She was very careful what she said, though. Nothing like a blessing or a spell. She said with a simple prayer that anyone could do. And straight away the boy leapt up. Thank the Lord for that. I was worried about my bed, see, how much of it I would have to change. But William, he just walked off with his dad and brother as if nothing had happened.
And what, pray, happened to Dorothy?
Oh, why, so the sheriff came and took her.
Please stand down, Mrs.
The accused, please stand. I hear you have a petition for me.
Yes, sir. I am not a witch, sir. William Lloyd and his kin bear great malice against me and my family, and have brought this false accusation against me. It is a malice of some age, sir. There have been diverse actions, quarrels and affrays, none my fault, or my family's.
And you have witnesses who support you? Let me see it. An impressive list, Mr. Fell, is it not?
With a note from one of the Mostings, no less, a good girl from a good home. We've never had any cause to distrust her or her kindred.
Would trust her with his life, apparently. I am of a mind to call a default.
Perhaps we could assign it ignoramus.
And a letter from her to show us why she should be absolved.
If you can find someone to write it.
Sir William will do that, sir.
Very well. Case dismissed.
Case dismissed. A good verdict, my lord.
Remember those oysters, John?
That fuss from old Bacon.
He never found out though, did he, eh? Not like he did about your Mary.
She was always curious, my Mary. Always asking her questions. She wanted to know what we did.
So you smuggled her in?
Yes. Right into the temple. Good times. I appreciate your coming, Tom. I want you to know that.
It's a fine service, old man. And I'm sure she would have liked what you said.
It was true. Every word. She always dealt with everything with such fortitude, you know? Always my support. Sometimes my conscience. And always ready to defend me. Except once. That morning I was due to try the king and pass sentence. She asked me, well, begged me really, not to judge the king. And now I think...
What? She was right.
Well, now that Cromwell is considering taking the throne for himself, I've told him, you know. I said, if you do become king, that will make me and you murderers. And if I had to have a king, I would rather it be Charles Stuart than some farmer from Lincoln like him.
Well said, old man.
It feels like we're going round in circles, you know. No progress. I've lost interest in it all.
Oh, come now, John, there's still the circuit.
Yes. And still the odd surprise, like Dorothy Griffiths. Mary took a special interest in Dorothy Griffiths. When she heard the verdict, she asked me if that would set a precedent.
Precedent, eh? Well. These women, eh? John?
Oh, sorry, I was just thinking.
What, my old friend?
About how little we know. About how much can turn on the word of a single man. How easily innocent can change to guilty.
Or guilty turns to innocent.
Hush! He's sleeping now. And yes, the seal is under the pillow.
I need to have it. There are people waiting.
But you're going to have a little patience. It won't be long now. A few days at the most.
Has he gone?
He has.
Can't I still hear voices?
No, sir, it's just the two of us here now.
They are here, though.
Hush. Hush.
Mary, is she not here?
No, sir. Do you not remember?
Oh. Yes, of course.
But I had a mind to tell her something.
What did you want to tell her, sir?
That she was right. You know.
In the end, about the king. Without a king, we're all at sea. Parliament's ebb and flow. The slightest storm. Without a king, we have no anchor.
Hush, sir. Try to sleep.
Listen. Listen. Do you hear them?
No, sir. What do they say?
Mostly they sing. By Mary. And then those poor women. Those poor women. Listen to them. Three ravens in a tree.
There were three ravens sat on a tree. Down, a down, hey down, hey down. They were as black as they might be with a down. Then one of them said to his mate, where shall we our breakfast take? with a down, derry, 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 down, down.
Dagwng hariad I lawr yn y berllan, twrwm di rorwm di radled law. O na bawn ni yno fy hunan, twrwm di rorwm di radled law. Dagwr ti a dagwr sgubor, dagwr ddrws y beidyn agor. Fal di radled law, fal di radled law, twrwm di rorwm di radled law. Dagwr dderwen wych ganghennog, twrwm di rorwm di radled law. Golwg arni sydd ar serchog, twrwm di rorwm di radled law. Mi ar hosaf yn eich ysgod, nes dawn hariad i'n nghyfarfod. Fal di radled law, fal di radled law, twrwm di rorwm di radled law. Dagwr delyn, dagwr tanau, twrwm di rorwm di radled law. Beddwydd gwell heb neb i'w chwarae, twrwm di rorwm di radled law. Dagwr fe'n wen hoenus fanwl, beddwydd nes heb gael ei meddwl. Fal di radled law, fal di radled law, twrwm